Gutierrez is there. Simutenkov actually looks like he wants it. It's a six-man wall with a couple of blue-shirted intruders. Simutenkov, three strides, shoots. Goal! Your U.S. Open Cup champions for the first time, the Kansas City Wizards.
It's a beautiful trophy of history and tradition, and it's going to get bigger and more important every year.
The Open Cup is, I believe it's the oldest tournament in our country's history for our sport, and it has a ton of history at the club.
I've always thought of this competition as the best one, the most fun. You know, you play against teams that you don't normally play against, like lower divisions.
But that's the magic of the Open Cup.
The silverware goes to Sporting Kansas City.
As the Kansas City Wizards, the champions of 2004.
I think everybody who plays in the U.S. Open Cup wants to win it. And any of those trophies come up and they're available to you, you're going to do everything you can to try to win one.
We've been fortunate enough to play in some of these finals and to win the majority of them. You know, I've been fortunate to be on some really good teams, some talented teams.
'12 was a difficult one. It was against Seattle at home. We had to prove to ourselves that we could win a final at home.
They were the three-time defending Cup champion. You know, they had won 3 times in a row. So that's all everybody was talking about. And so we felt like we had to prove ourselves. They had just built this stadium. The owners had invested so much of their money and time into this new rebrand in the stadium. Like, we had to go out and prove it. Show up to the stadium. It's the first Cup final for the majority of our players. We had a pretty young team. We're about to go out to warm-ups and a weather delay hits. It wasn't terribly long. I think it was only like 35, 40 minutes. But what happened during that 35 or 40 minutes is the stadium just getting like fuller and fuller. Normally when you walk out for a warm-up, the stadium's half empty at best, even for a Cup final, because you start warming up like an hour before the game. But when we walked out after the weather delay, it was probably right when the original kickoff time was supposed to happen. So everybody was already there. I remember that's the first time I've ever warmed up in front of a packed stadium. And it was awesome. Right from the warm-up, like it was go time. Like, this is awesome. It was a tense game. 2 great teams went into a shootout. The infamous penalty kick where Jimmy Nielsen is standing on his line, going crazy and just trying to distract him, and it worked. And then we celebrated. Everyone talks about winning, and everybody talks about having a winning mentality. And you think you do. You know, you can practice it and can do it in the regular season, and you can win some playoff games. But until you actually win a trophy, you don't know what it means to win a trophy. And when you win a trophy, there's a different level of confidence that you get, both individually and as a team. And that's exactly what happened. We won something, finally, and we learned how to win. We learned what it was like. We figured out how good it felt. It's all we talked about after that. I want that feeling again and again and again. And that became our identity.
In 15, winning away from home was the next step. Doing that at Philadelphia, again, another difficult challenge.
When we went into that locker room in Philadelphia in 2015, it was us against the entire city. You know, it was that us against them mentality. Every single guy, we put everything that we have physically and mentally into every single play. For 90 minutes, we do it over and over and over and over again. And if we do that, we're coming back in here with a trophy. Let's go. If I remember correctly, Philadelphia had actually lost the previous Cup final, and so this was their chance to redeem themselves. And we knew they were going to come out flying. They had worked themselves up, and they had all the confidence, like, we're going to do it this year. Philadelphia played great. They had a good team. We just played a little better that night because we had to. And that's what we did.
Oh, and it skipped through. The shot needed to be dealt with by Melia. Myers, nice ball. Zusi helping it on. Namath curled it and scored an absolute beauty. And Namath has levelled the Open Cup final. Oh, Amelia has saved it. He has scored. And Sporting Kansas City have won their 3rd trophy in 4 years. Call them a dynasty.
When you get to 17, I thought that we were just a very, very good team, and we were peaking at the right time. To come out and get the 2-goal lead was huge. They knocked one back, but we had more than enough in that team to finish out that game, and it was a great win at home.
He touches it past the keeper!
That was such a high moment in my career. I made my debut that year, and I started getting into the team and winning the cup, scoring the game winner in the final, and it was definitely a dream.
Sporting KC win the US Open Cup for the 4th time. And so the trophy belongs appropriately to Sporting Kansas City and to the hometown boy made good, Matt Beasler. Their name up in lights, fireworks spiraling into a Kansas sky.
Special occasion too with the fact that it was around Neil Patterson's death. It was important for the team to get that win.
The finals always stand out, you know. There's nothing like playing in a final. But then when you start thinking about it and breaking it down year by year, you know, you start thinking about, you know, what led up to that final and the journey that the team took to reach the final.
I think this year for us, just having that silver lining in the Open Cup of, hey, we have this is a blank sheet of paper, like let's start drawing how we want to.
Which one we're going today? Final.
We're only in the semifinals. Like, you don't have a chance to win a trophy yet. You have to win this to get the chance to win the trophy and make sure you're ready for it.
Well, following about a 2.5-hour weather delay here in the heartland in Kansas City, lightning, thunder, and rain fell upon Children's Mercy's Park, but we will finally be able to settle the first finalist in the 109th edition of the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup.
Vamos guys, huh? Come on. Waited a long time for this game, boys.
There's only one way to get to the final, and that's beating this team.
You may be wondering, why is Sporting Kansas City kicking off at 9:44 p.m. Central Time? Well, it was supposed to kick off at 7:12, but over 2 hours of a weather delay here at Children's Mercy Park, and we're finally ready to go in the biggest match of SKC's season thus far.
Do not take them lightly. Do not disrespect them because they're in a lower league. This is a massive game for them and for us. The opportunities in playing finals don't come around often. We have to do everything we can to make sure we are in the final points. Everything we have together, we do it for the We win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win it! Come on!
We're underway from Children's Mercy Park. Sporting Kansas City against Indy 11 in the US Open Cup semifinal.
Go!
He leaves that one for Tommy. A long-range effort rattles the crossbar.
This match has been extremely physical and also has been very quick.
As Eric Tommy finding Davis.
Jake Davis at the top of the box. Now back for Russell. Johnny Russell buries it! In the biggest moment of SKC's season, Johnny Russell, the captain, steps up to the plate.
Johnny Russell, the heartbeat of this club, draws first blood in this semifinal, and it's 1-0.
Really good possession from Sporting to keep the ball. They're patient as Jake Davis dribbles into the midfield and lays it off for Johnny Russell. Absolutely snipes one in the bottom corner, knuckling all over the place.
Just too much space for Johnny Russell.
The Scotsman is back, and he's flying.
Some silky soccer from Sporting Kansas City. Here's Voltaire, he'll send it back in. Rocero's at the back post, and Rosero knocks it home! Aero Rosero for SKC, 2-0!
Sporting are cruising. Need him, want him, and you get everything to perfection on the second of the night for Sporting Kansas City.
Let's go, guys, we need to play another. Go. Be careful as well, they have to go for it now, so they're just going to launch everything forward. They're going to get numbers forward, and they're going to try and pick up seconds and get chances from that. We have to be switched on at the back. Midfield, we have to get back and get the seconds.
I'm happy that we're up 2-0, but we have to play with intelligence in the game now. We can't all of a sudden take this idea in our head that the game's over, because it's not over, and we got to stay disciplined, do everything that we talked about. You've got to be focused and concentrated in this. That's how you get to the final. And when you get to the final, that's how you win it. We've got to stay focused, man. We've got to come out in the second half with this different idea here. We've got to be disciplined, then we can finish off the team. So let's go. Let's go, brother!
And there's the final whistle. The wait is over. Sporting are going back to a cup final for the first time in 7 years. Peter Vermees and his club continue to give themselves chances to paint the wall. They'll have another one in late September. Sporting Kansas City back where they belong in the US Open Cup final.
Hugs and kisses all around here at Children's Mercy Park for the home side as their quest for a 5th US Open Cup will continue. It was a statement on a night where they needed to make one.
You know, I constantly say how much I love it here. I love this place. I love the guys that I work with. Extremely proud. You know, when I get to pull that armband on as well, I never want to waste an opportunity when I've got that on or when I'm on the field as well. So, you know, nights like this make it worth it.
Vamos! Vamos! What did I say in the beginning? I said, on our way to the final. Let's go. It's that way. Which way? That way. Final. Yeah!
It's great to be back into a final. I'm a believer that you take advantage of the opportunities that you've worked for. It wasn't do all this work to get here and then be afraid to go play. I mean, you've got to go for it. One game, anybody can win. I look at it as they're the heavyweights and we're, you know, kind of the lightweight trying to come in and beat them. And that's going to be a big opportunity for us.
Having my first year here and going to the 2017 US Open Cup final, and those days don't come around as often as you think when you're a younger player. You really have to fight hard for those moments. So I was actually talking to Jake and telling him not to take it for granted because you never know when your next final will be. So I'm very happy to play in the final again. Hopefully it's the same outcome as last time.